Aquí probando un jueguito nuevo. A ver. Ok. No, la pantalla de la computadora se refleja en mi... Ok, está raro. Está bien. The end is never the end. The end is never the end. El final nunca es el final. El final nunca es el final.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ok. Salir de la oficina.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Mi puerta.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
¿Dónde carajo está eso? Es el lobby. Ah. Meeting room. Cabrón. Ah.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
¿Y por qué tengo que ir a la izquierda y no a la derecha? Más para la derecha.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Puñeta.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
No hay café para beber, no puedo beber. Okay.
Yes, really worth. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Fuck you.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ah, la X. Se oprime un botón. The jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion will cause death.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Laggy. Me llegó una notificación. Me dio un amigo preguntándome qué diablos está jugando. A ver, me mando. Ay, Jesús, qué sueño. ¿Cómo era para...? Ok, aquí. ¡Ah, puñeta! Me cago en la madre,
That's
carajo.
her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach.
Abrir a ella. Ah.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
What the fuck?
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Cabrón, ¿por qué te mueves así?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Cabrón.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
No. No. Let me get out. Déjame salir. Fucker. Aww.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Se supone que son las 8, porque puse 8. Pasaron 2 horas.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one
Hola, soy un suscriptor nuevo.
Hola Fuapi, bienvenido a mi canal. Espero que te
Down
guste.
another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions.
Tengo que
And
jugar
down
un
another was a
jueguito.
game with a baby. And he called it the
Es como de
Stanley
terror
Parable.
psicológico.
It was such a wonderful fantasy.
La
And
verdad
so
es
in
que
his head,
está bien
he
raro.
relived it
Pero está
again,
chulo.
and then again, and
Está
again,
cómico.
over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always
Yo no
has.
pregunté, pero buena teoría.
The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more
Perdón,
he
suscriptor
forgets
nuevo.
Miedo.
Sí, da un poco de miedo. Da un poco de miedo.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here.
Cara llorando fuerte, cara revolviéndose de la risa, cara revolviéndose de la risa.
Do not do it.
Me dijo de que no oprimo el botón. Pero la cosa es llevarle la contraria.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Tengo que escapar de aquí. Espérate. ¡No! ¡Lo oprimí el triángulo,
I
puñeta!
want him to, but I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and
Huh?
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
¡Ah! ¿Qué? ¡No entiendo! ¡Me morí!
All of his co-workers were gone.
Sí, me
What could it
morí.
mean?
Ok,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
ya sé lo que tengo que hacer. Ya sé lo que tengo que hacer.
When Stanley came to a
Mira,
set
él
of
dice a la
two
izquierda,
open
pero yo
doors, he
sin
entered that
cojones
this was
para la
not the
derecha.
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Aquí dice, do not jump. Voy a saltar.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Me
Good
morí.
job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Ah, puñeta. Ok. La cosa es escapar del Matrix.
Buena esa.
Sí, la cosa es escapar del Matrix, cabrón. Porque el tipo te está dando unas órdenes
Stanley
y tú
decided
tienes
to
que
go
hacer
to
lo
the meeting
contrario.
room.
Mira, esta
Perhaps he
puerta
had
no se
simply
abre.
missed a memo.
Hay que hacer cosas fuera de lo usual, de lo ordinario. Sí, yo tengo amigos que son ordinarios, que escuchan música fea, que se creen
Stanley came
gangster.
to a set
Entonces
of
hay que
two
ser
open doors.
fuera de lo
This was not
ordinario.
the correct way to the meeting room, and
La puerta no
Stanley
se
knew
abre,
it
no.
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Abre.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ok. Aquí no es. Es acá.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's
O
incredible.
sea, el punto del juego es que tienes que llevarle la contraria al tipo.
Más o menos. Lo que pasa es de
Stanley, I
que
think
en
perhaps we've
la...
gotten off on the
Espérate.
wrong foot here.
Yo puedo... Espérate.
I'm not your
espérate.
enemy, really, I'm not. I
pasar por
realize
ahí.
that investing your trust in
Let's go.
someone else can be difficult.
¡Ah!
But in his eagerness
Ok.
to prove that he is in control of the story,
Sí, la
and
cosa
no one
es
gets to
llevarle la
tell him
contra
what
al cabrón
to do,
este.
Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Pensé que
Good
iba a llegar.
job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Pensé que iba a llegar, cabrón. No, hay que intentarlo otra vez.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
¿No
Stanley
puedo correr?
decided to go to
No,
the
no puedo
meeting
correr.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ajá.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Lo que me llama la atención es esas puertas que están ahí.
Look, Stanley,
Eso que
I
está
think
ahí.
perhaps we've
Esa que
gotten
está ahí.
off on
Esa
the
que
wrong
dice
foot here. I'm
Danger.
not Jimmy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your
Ah,
trust
mira,
in
puedo
someone
llegar.
else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone
me
you've been
tiro.
neglecting, Stanley. What?
Oh,
Really?
sí.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
No. ¡Ah! ¿Por qué se cierra la puerta? Okay.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Aquí hay una llave. Debe haber una llave. Porque me dieron free will y no tengo llave. Qué raro, mira, mira, mira. Rojo, rojo. Eso es para cargar. Y eso es pintura, tú lo cargas. Ah, ok.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't know if I'm communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Que está todo oscuro.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
No.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Pero de 1 al 5, de 1 siendo mejor o 5 siendo mejor. No estoy obligado a hacer esto. Mierda, sí estoy obligado a hacer esto. Bueno, voy a poner 3. Porque ni es bueno, ni es malo. Ni es malo, ni es bueno.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings. Does that sound good?
Hijo
Think
de
we
puta.
can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Ajá. Si voy por la misma puerta.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on. And now would be... Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on.
¡Ah!
In this game, the baby goes left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be
Gritas
sure to
como
keep
un
notes
trans.
on your experience.
¡Ah! Que se joda el bebé.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely
Porque
to
eso hace
spite me?
ruido.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
¿Qué carajo? ¡Cabrón!
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley?
¡Cabrón!
What is our motivation?
Este juego es bien
Well, it seems
bonito.
obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
¿Por qué se abrió con un sonido de Minecraft? Cabrón, se abrió la puerta con un sonido de
Cara
Minecraft.
revolviéndose de la risa, cara revolviéndose de la risa.
Cabrón, este juego se llama Firewatch. Está bien chulo. Nunca lo he jugado. National Forest of Wyoming. Este juego está bien chulo, cabrón. Nunca lo he jugado. ¿Pero qué hace aquí, cabrón? Este es un juego... Este es un juego completamente diferente, cabrón. No entiendo nada de lo que está pasando. Ahí dice que... Don't tread on me. Ah, mira, esto es lo que utilizan los militares. Don't tread on me. No te metas conmigo. Eso es lo que significa. Cabrón, metieron un juego dentro de otro juego. What the fuck. Está lindo el jueguito este, a mí me encanta.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
¿Qué? Para acá atrás. Que no sé
It
si...
is.
¡Ah!
It's an open world game.
Me cagué,
Good
cabrón.
God, quickly block it off.
¿Cómo que bloquealo? ¿Ah?
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a
¿Qué?
close
¿Por qué?
call. You nearly wandered off into that thing, that big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it.
Por un momento pensé que había visto ese juego antes, pero no.
Sí, este lo has visto antes,
Let's try
cabrón.
another
Este es
game.
Firewatch.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Que no me deja salir.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Cabrón, me está cambiando de juego porque quería ponerme en juegos que no sean... ¡Cabrón, este es
Wonderful.
Rocket League!
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design.
Rocket League!
Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back.
Ya
but
mismo
obviously
sale
there's no
Fortnite.
racetrack. Okay,
No,
I see that there's a
cabrón,
ball
no.
of some kind back here.
Me
Is this game
sorprendería.
sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall
La
run the
bandera.
bases and do a touchdown together.
Colombia,
Yes,
Chile,
I
China,
think surely we
Canadá,
must.
Alemania.
Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Cabrón. ¿Qué? No puedo hacer nada con ella. Ah, la puedo golpear.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball... Hold on. What are you doing?
¿Ah?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Cabrón, estoy solo ahora. What the fuck? ¡Cabrón! ¡No quiero jugar esta mierda de juego! ¡Oh! ¡No quiero jugar esto! ¡Ah! Me voy a matar ahí. No. No,
Cara
no.
revolviéndose
No.
de la risa, cara revolviéndose de la risa, cara revolviéndose de la risa, cara revolviéndose de la risa.
Ok. Reaparecí mirándose allá, ¿verdad? Vamos para acá atrás. Ok, cerrado. Mira, como en radio no, cabrón. Tienes que verificarlo a la esquina. Me escondo aquí detrás de la puerta. Como hacía para cuando mi madre venía a ver las notas mías, me escondía, me escondía detrás de la puerta. Extraño el viejo que me estaba hablando, cabrón. Ahora estoy solo. Mira, es mejor caminar así de lado. A pegar la pared, izquierda a la derecha rapidito. Así vigila los dos lados rapidito. Un estudio. Un estudio, no hay nada. Cámaras de seguridad. Que no. ¡Ah! ¡Me cago en esta mierda de juego, cabrón! ¡Uh!
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy
No
with his
seas
choice.
cagao.
Cabrón, me cagué y me
Heavy costs
apareció de la
come
nada,
with it.
cabrón.
He'll
La
understand
pantalla
soon what I
esa.
was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. very soon. I can wait.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Por qué no me deja hacer nada? Ok, loading. ¿Qué? ¿Qué?
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand.
No!
It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time. Oh, new content.
Desde cero, papá.
What does that mean? New content.
¡Ah! ¡La fucking puerta se movió! ¡Me cago en... Pero...
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Este es el DLC. Me metí al DLC sin querer, sin haber terminado el juego, cabrón. Ay, Dios. Vamos bien.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
¿Por qué no? ¿Por qué no sube?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Jump circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Saltar. Sí, ¿sabes qué? No voy a gastarlo.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on
Cuando
the
te
level of...
canses ahí vamos Paradise.
In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore."
Cabrón,
Quality assurance
conéctate el
department
tributo ahí,
signed
¿no?
off on this. I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
El juego se reinició, no me jodas. Ah.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Ok. No entiendo.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Esto es.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Qué lindo. Sweet, sweet song.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Our first kiss, my first car, they released a Stanley Parable 2013. 2013. Mind control facility. Aww. ¿Qué dice ahí? Straley, Police Straley. Se lo robó, cabrón. Le puso un. Qué hijo de puta. El demo.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Ok, nos abre.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation, boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise. Oh, these were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
No recomendado.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
The fuck?
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes. Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking?
Oh my God.
It isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be... Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about...
No entiendo.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't...
Okay, no entiendo.
The end is never the end.
Qué juego tan estúpido, en serio. Dime, papi,
¿Qué pasó?
¿qué vamos a jugar? Vamos para... ¿Qué tienes ahí? A ver. No tengo ganas de jugar de Z. ¿Tienes arma ahí descargado? No, pero jugamos en oficial. Dale, vamos a jugar en oficial, fíjate.